look, I think that the face-to-face and the physical and mental connection is the most important thing. So these apps and that, have still never been on a dating app, you know.
Really?
Ever. I've never, ever gone on it. And not because I have anything against them, but because I just prefer that physical interaction.
Of course,
you know. Plus, like, bro, don't worry about it. Like, guys get more attractive as they get older, I think. Like,
Thank you. Grateful.
Yeah, that was directed
Thank you. I look like
at
shit.
you.
No, I'm just saying. Hey guys, welcome back to Jordan's Room. I'm here with a very special guest. I'm here with Jade Flay.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's up?
Hi, Simi. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thanks for coming on. I've been doing like heaps of solo podcasts recently, and it's been, I don't know, like they've been going really well, but I like, as I was telling you earlier, like I like talking to females.
I like talking to
on
females.
and off the podcast. No. I like talking to females about like life, sex, relationship advice, pretty much anything really. So, and you know, sometimes people can get not intimidated, but like a bit, you know, a little bit intimidated by coming on because the topics are so. Can be raunchy.
Well, it's real though.
It is.
And I just think people just need to be a little bit more open-minded. But I think in Australia especially, people kind of feel like they just don't want to go there. I don't know why it makes people so uncomfortable. But if you go anywhere else in the world, you made this point before.
100%.
It's like a lot more normalised and progressive in that manner.
Yeah, 100%. Like I always, like I've run into a few girls that I've known from the past. Surely, can someone's dog fucking hell, Bucky. Is that little come from upstairs? Nah. Like I know girls that I've partied with and stuff that have listened to my podcast and they're like, oh, you know, that's such a touchy subject to talk about. And I'm like, well, it's the truth. I believe what I talk about on the podcast is what people do and think. Yeah. But as you said, in Australia and New Zealand and shit, it's like
you're just saying it. People are thinking it, and you're just saying it.
I'm like, I know. So it is what it is. So when did we meet? We met maybe like 2 months ago.
Yep, Flatmate Fridays, North Bondi.
Fridays. Yeah, I was like limping down the road, and I was like, oh, who's this? I think I'd come across your Instagram and shit ages ago, but that was when we met Flatmate Fridays. We were just getting on the piss, but
you were injured, and I recall at one point I piggybacked you uphill.
Yeah, you did too. You did. Holy shit! Yeah, I remember that. Hey, how drunk were we?
We were pretty drunk.
Can you? Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah. So how did you come about like meeting like Isaac and stuff?
Yeah. I think it was just through my podcast, my YouTube show, Only with Jade Flay, which I focus on, you know, it's about music, predominantly Australian music, and I bring on artists in Australia and have chats with them, very like candid conversations. And then it just took off. Like I released one episode and I think I got like 300,000 views on it or something, and
no way.
And within a day, like partnered with YouTube, and it went from there. And
so you're with Spotify. You're working with Spotify now.
Yep. So I did 5 episodes of Only with Jade Flay, which is all you know, produced by myself and some close friends. Shout out Burrows Digital from Canberra and Royce, my boy. But yeah, so did a few episodes there, and look, I actually set a goal. I said within 12 months, I want to partner either with Apple exclusively or with Spotify. And Spotify actually approached me, and they had this idea to do a hip hop show based on the A1 playlist, which is Australia's biggest hip hop playlist and the 3rd biggest Spotify playlist in Australia. There's a little plug for you, Spotify. So they approached me, which was like fucking goals, dude. And that's how it all started. So,
that's honestly, congratulations. Cause like, it's cool to see people, and I feel like it happened in like, was it a really fast time, like period of time, like when it all went down?
It all went down.
Because I remember you
so
doing like, I watched one of your interviews and I was like, this chick's just a natural. And then all of a sudden this like Spotify thing comes up and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Because I actually used to be an Apple user. I like Apple Music.
Yeah.
And then like once I met you and stuff came on, like, and then I but Spotify is so much more interactive and
it's interactive. It's just
more vibier too.
Yeah, it's just vibier. Like, I mean, I've always been an Apple user too, so no shade to Apple.
Yeah.
You know, the OGs.
Yeah.
The OGs, but
Grateful.
Spotify's definitely more. What's the word? Like, it's more personalized.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the word that I'm trying to think of. So it's a lot more personalized. And yeah, it's been great. But yeah, we've already put out 12 episodes because we do them weekly.
Yeah.
And I have zero experience in radio, zero experience in like presenting. I've sort of done a bit of hosting. I'm a DJ, so naturally I can get up in front of people. That's
course.
not a problem. Or there's a camera in my face. That's cool. But speaking, you know, in itself is an art. And that's, so I'm very grateful that you think that I'm an actual edit because
I reckon it's sick. And I think as well, like, Spotify is such a massive platform, and then you take into consideration people you talk to. Like
I know,
I said in the interview, like you were talking to AJ Tracy.
Yeah,
I love that guy, man. And
He's
I was
sick,
like, this is crazy.
Yeah. That UK Connect, like the bridge between Australia and UK is just getting so much stronger. I think just because in Australia, we probably relate more to the culture there, so it just makes more sense.
Yeah. I mean, over the past few years, I'm not really in touch with like Australian music or like I listen to what everyone else listens to, but I think one thing that is showing heaps is like drill.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of Islanders, like a lot of Islander boys, like at the forefront of it, which is pretty cool. I mean, who would you say that's like standing at the forefront of like Australian rap at the moment? Like,
Australian rap and drill, like there's that whole drill movement, and it makes sense because it's probably, you know, very relatable for a lot of these guys that have kind of grown up doing the street shit, that have come from that, and that's what they relate to. That's,
of course,
you know, and so there are definitely a lot of drill artists out there. So many great ones from Australia, you know, poly or Caucasian or Asian, you know, but obviously 1-4 being, you know, some of the pioneers in that genre. They're definitely leading the way. Yeah. And then I think from there, everyone else kind of jumped on the movement. But if you can do it, you can do it. If you're a real driller and you're actually about that life, then it's believable. But I don't know if
I love 1-4, those boys. They're just, they just rap about what they've gone through in life and stuff like that. And even the coolest thing for me was that they're quite big in New Zealand as well.
Yep.
And I remember when I used to live back in New Zealand, just like Aussie music and stuff wasn't, you know, it was sort of frowned upon, not frowned upon, but it just wasn't as big as it is now. But one of the boys I was talking to back home, he said they're massive over there. So, I mean, I know that there was a few times I was supposed to go over, but then COVID hit, and then New Zealand's done such a good job to like. Well,
New Zealand, like HP Boys booked their
massive
tour
over there too. Yeah,
HP Boys killer. Like shout out those boys, but you know they sold out all their shows in New Zealand like immediately. But are we surprised there? But it's different there though, because I feel like the police aren't trying to shut everything down.
No.
You know, in Australia, it's just like
I think in New Zealand as well, there's an appreciation for it as well. Even though they're naughty over there, but I know I've heard so many times that their shows and whatnot have been cancelled just due to.
You're from South Auckland, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm from South Auckland. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to know?
I want to know. Like, when did you come over here? Like, how attached? Like, are you still connected to your roots there?
Nah, fuck that. Nah.
Oh God.
Nah, hell no. Nah. So I moved over from New Zealand when I was about 14, 15. And the thing is though, is like I grew up in Mangere East, which is like the heart of South Auckland. But I got a scholarship to this school, King's College, back home. So I felt like the journey that I went through from coming over, because I went to boarding school pretty much from like 13 years old.
Yeah.
So I felt like when I moved countries and I came over here, that time at that school prepared me for everything. Where, and I was telling you earlier, like one of my goals is to help, you know, underprivileged kids.
Yes.
You know, make those like transitions through life, because I don't think if I didn't go to King's College, then I wouldn't have survived over here.
Yeah, right.
Because it was just such a. It's such
Where's that?
Kings is in South Auckland as well.
Oh, okay.
But
yep,
it was
yep,
just
yep.
like it's like the richest school in NZ. Like
Wow.
it's insane. It's like one of those. It's like you're in the ghetto, but the richest school in New Zealand right there. So
Yep.
it's not even real. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's
Yep.
almost like a Harry Potter. Like that's what we used to. That's like that's Hogwarts.
I know you're a wizard now.
Yeah, pretty much. No, so I moved over here ages ago, but I've gone back a few times. But so the thing with South Auckland is, if you sort of lose contact with like old mates and shit like that, it can be a scary place. But the funny thing is when I moved over from South Auckland and I actually moved out west and I went to Granville Boys for like a year and a half. Right. But you know, I actually found it was so much nicer over out west than it was back in New Zealand.
Okay,
I was
like,
this is safe over here. So, but I'll probably go back after COVID. But South Auckland's always going to be South Auckland. You know, everyone's doing the same shit.
Yeah.
But
so upon reflection, you realize that you could probably maybe give back in the sense of like just your experience.
I think my experience growing up there's so many kids, as we were talking about earlier, that have so much talent. Yeah. But you're not taught. You go to these schools in South Auckland, and you're not taught to want more or to
embrace your creativity.
Embrace. Yeah. I mean, the cultural side's pretty tough, but you know, not everyone wants to play rugby. Not everyone wants to fucking, you know what I mean? So I think the long-term goal would be to create like a voice for these kids over there. And I definitely do see myself going back and inserting myself into the community in South Auckland, and creating these opportunities, even over here as well. But I want to start with home first, and then I'm honestly excited. Like that's so cool. My long-term goal is to help these bloody little Islander boys get out, because that's the thing, right? Is like, I don't know about yourself, but you'd have friends as growing up. Rugby is like. Yeah, we were talking about this on Spotify the other week, you know, because a lot of artists musicians I watched that. So Pistol Pete and Enzo. Because the song was based around that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was sort of like loosely based on on football, and they were saying how that, you know, there was so much pressure growing up being, you know, Polio Islander, like you just have to do that if you're going to be successful at anything. That's what you do. Yeah, you know, and then they really believe that. No, well, you don't have to play football to be successful or make money. Like, you can explore other things. And now there are just so much more, like, there's so many more avenues, so many more opportunities for people to 100. Make some real money, you know, doing that as well. Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, it's good. And I feel like in my culture as well, like I'm an artist, like I paint on the side, but I feel like so many kids out there have so much talent in that space as well that they just need the right platform to showcase their work. 100%. We don't really hear of like painters and artists from our sort of cultures really making it anywhere in Australia or I don't know about New Zealand. Probably there are probably more in New Zealand. There is some Maoris and stuff that do it, but there's so much untapped talent over there. And that's the thing. I was watching that episode briefly on that discussion about footy, and it would be a dream to create other opportunities for kids. Well, you're on your way there. I know. It's so cool, right? I know, it's so cool. Yeah, and YKTR and, you know, everything you guys are doing, it all kind of blends really nicely, and it's moving in that direction. Yeah. It's a movement in itself, and 100%. It's so beautiful to see, you know. Yeah, no, it is. It's fun. And like going back to how I met Isaac, it's kind of like been really nice because even though we're all sort of sitting in different spaces in the creative world, we can all somehow tie together nicely and resonate with each other. Exactly. And I can come on here, I can come to Jordan's room, chat. Honestly, I was sitting in the office the other day, and it's when you find like your why or your purpose and you're happy in the space that you're at. I was sort of sitting there just sort of thinking about, you know, coming from New Zealand, coming from South Auckland, and the funny thing is like when I've mentioned South Auckland on podcasts unintentionally, the amount of messages I get from people that watch it from NZ and talk about South Auckland and stuff. So I'm excited to grow that space and get amongst it. So it's fucking exciting.
It's so exciting. God, I'm G'd up. I'm inspired.
Let's go to New Zealand. Let me just go back and so they beat me up.
Can Isaac just pay us to go over there to South Auckland, visit your old school and
But there's a funny thing is my old school back in NZ is just full of like rich people.
Oh, okay. So well, maybe they can shout us some,
they give the tools.
some shit.
They hate me over there. So like back to Spotify. So how did that do you have a manager or did they just like hit you up? And
they hit me up. I'm self-managed. I actually I've tried to work with managers before. I don't know whether it's because I'm difficult or what, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. And I found that it's been actually quite easy for me to just manage myself. I've always managed my DJ bookings and stuff. So it kind of was just, and I am a business manager. You're right there, you're coughing during my...
Yeah, fuck, sorry about that, Gotta stop vaping.
I want to puff on my vape too. Damn. Anyway.
Do you want some?
Yeah, okay, why not? So I'm a business manager as well. That's what I do on outside of the music stuff. So it just comes naturally to me to just manage myself. Yeah.
And then like you'd obviously come to like spots where you're like, shit, I should have done this, I should have done that. Like, do you find that you can play on the mic? That's fine. Do you ever come in like into times where you're like, do you learn from your mistakes, or has there been a few times where you're like?
Yeah, look, the biggest lessons that I've learnt, and I always constantly come across these sort of hurdles, it's actually believing in myself, 100% backing myself.
Yeah.
I always find that in situations where I don't back myself 100%, I find myself in murky waters, and that's always been the biggest lesson for me, like trusting, those intuitive feelings and those thoughts, and like there's a reason why you think those things, and you really got to trust yourself sometimes. And I think when I haven't, during times where I haven't, just whatever, but it's cool. We move. Yeah.
100. Yeah. Well, that's what, like, we had a bit of a chat beforehand, is like we were talking about females empowering each other and looking after. So when I think the space that you're in and seeing, because mostly it's like music is like
it's heavily male dominated.
Yeah. And like, I feel like you're at the forefront of
it's crazy.
Like a new space. It's
I know.
Pretty insane.
And especially being a person of color, it's huge. And I think, being in that space, you have a responsibility, and that's something to always consider. So I'm technically being a voice in a predominantly male and white male space. Yeah. So, but at the same time, it's like, how do you navigate through that space as well without just causing trouble? It's like, it's hard. It's hard to balance. It's
And I think the good thing about New Zealand and Australia, they're open to that. Like, they're open to it. I think in other countries it might be a bit more difficult. It's still hard over here. But the people that you work with, some of your co-hosts, tell me a bit about them.
Yeah, so 24 Karat Kev, shout out Chinatown champ, 24 Karat Kev. He's my boy. He's mad.
He seems so vibey. He's
vibey. Yeah, he's Asian. So he's my Asian brother. Like we have that instant connection because we can bond over fur soups and expensive $400 lobsters and shit.
Really? Shit, you must be getting paid.
Oh no, we just spend all our money on food. But yeah, he's really great, and he has a background in journalism and law, so he's
really
super
well
smart.
spoken. Yeah, he's really well spoken.
Yeah.
And is he like, where's he from? Is he from?
He grew up in Sydney. He lives in Maroubra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he from out those ways? Like.
Yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure he was. Oh no, I think he may have been born in Hong Kong and then came over when he was younger.
And your other
and Jazz.
Shout out Jazz.
Shout out Jazz, you sexy bitch. Love you. She's amazing. She's from the Shire, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah. So she's had an interesting upbringing here. I think any person of colour in Australia.
Yeah, for sure.
That's grown up here is always a bit like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, because Australia can be fucking how you going, eh?
It can be ruthless at times, and especially when growing up, and her and I can relate to this. There are certain, physical aspects about us and cultural aspects that weren't necessarily embraced growing up, but now people are beginning to embrace it more, which is amazing to see. But it can sometimes be a bit like, oh, you like my nose now? You like the color of my skin? I'm not monkey girl anymore. Like I'm actually attractive to you.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, that's
so it's nice to have her there as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
She seems pretty cool. She from like.
Yeah, she's got a DJ background as well, so and radio.
And did you guys know each other before?
Yeah, just knew each other through the music scene.
And were they working at Spotify before?
No, no. So Jazz, I think she did a brief stint at Triple J. And Kev has his own show with his business partner Chris Lufty. They do Filterzine. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like another music blog that's kind of based on predominantly Australian hip hop music, yeah.
And so, is the kid Leroy coming on the show soon? Or?
Hopefully, yeah, 100%. I mean,
so cool because it's like you work for a company that's so big that has the opportunity to get in touch with those types of. Because he's an Indigenous background, doesn't he?
He has an Indigenous background. Yeah, he's from Redfern. So I've known
crazy.
Well, the first time I saw Kid Leroy, I think he was like maybe 10 years old or something at the studio just around the corner from here.
That's crazy.
You know, like the trap studio we used
Wasn't
to
it
call it.
Just over here?
Yeah,
right?
it was literally just over there. So that's where, you know, Dream Big Music kind of spawned from. Dream Big, they take care of other massive Australian artists like Hooligan Hefts and Day One. And they kind of nurtured the Kid Leroy from the beginning. Ziggy, shout out Ziggy, and Manny. And then, you know, eventually as more opportunities came about through the record labels and stuff. Of course. The Kid Leroy was just exposed to more and more, and then, you know.
Yeah, he's it's insane to see like a kid from Redfern, you know, of Indigenous background. What I love about it is if people look at him, they can see that anything is literally possible, like especially in Redfern as well. Redfern's a pretty tough spot to grow up in. But yeah, it's I love that kid. I would love to.
And he really, you know, he's actually very smart as well. Like some people will say he's a bit of an industry plant. I could see why people have that perception, but at the same time, he saw his opportunities and he really like ran with them. 100%. And I think, you know, that's the difference between a winner and someone who just sits back and expects things to happen for them. You know, Juice WRLD came here and Leroy had, you know, all his boys backing him, following him, taking content. You know, we live in the digital age and it's like he captured all of that. And then as soon as he was able to put that on the internet, you know, backed by Juice WRLD, it was kind of like, oh, bang. Yeah. You know, and it's little things like that he understood that he needed to do. And
at the end of the day, like, you got to look after yourself and your family too, you know what I mean? So
100%.
But honestly, I've just to see like his music's pretty consistent as well. Like I could listen to every one of his songs and fucking have a good time.
You like his music?
Yeah, I love his music actually. Yeah,
cool.
It's just buzzy because he's so young, you know what I mean? But
yeah, man.
And like for him to get in touch with like, well, I'm 29 years old. I'm like,
it trips me out when I think I'm in my 30s. I'm like, when I remember that, I'm like, holy shit! I swear I was just 18 yesterday.
Well, I meet like, you know, 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds, and like, it's just weird to see the space like that people are working in nowadays compared to what I was doing in 21. I can't even remember. Working in the mines, playing up. Yeah. So back to like, empowering females. Like, if you could go back in time, right? I always think about this by myself. I could go back in time. If you could go back in time and tell yourself something when you were 15 years old, like what would that look like?
15 years old.
15, 14.
Damn.
It's coming of age and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What would I have told myself? I think it comes back to that, like, trusting yourself. You know, I think back then there was, and even to now, like, I always find people try and have their input on what you should do and what direction you should move in. And I feel like, you know, being at that age, because I was a performer then as well. Yeah. I was a dancer back in the day. Like, I was performing all around the world, you know, touring, like teaching all around Australia and overseas and stuff.
Far out.
So
you've been busy since day dot.
I've been busy, yeah. And I just remember like a lot of people trying to tell me what I should do, and I guess maybe I wasn't as secure in myself at that point to kind of just cut out the noise and just do what I loved. Yeah. You know, and then I see other people like shout out Paris, you know, she's you know, she started the royal family and stuff, and she's like a really great example of someone who stuck to her vision and really fucking went for it no matter what.
She's crazy.
You know, she's insane. Like not just talented, but just going back to like what I said about Leroy, like she saw her opportunities, she fulfilled her potential.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a hard thing. That is what I think is the hardest thing to do, to be completely conscious of like what the fuck you're doing and what direction you're moving in.
Yeah.
So if there was anything that I could tell my 15-year-old self, it would be to not listen to the noise. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so easy to be swayed, like coming up as well. Like I was playing footy over in WA, but yeah, just when you listen to so many people, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and then like you got the family members that are like, you know, trying to get you to do certain things. And I think the cool thing as well when because I'm a bit of a weirdo. I don't know if you know. Like, I don't think I'm weird. I don't think I'm weird, but I just because a lot of people ask the boys, "Is he putting on a show? Like, is this as a character?" But I don't know. Like, I genuinely, like, I've always been this person, right? But I've always been in these like roles and stuff where I couldn't be myself. So, as I said, for me, for my purpose and why, like, and the topics that I talk about, you start to get people that are like, oh man, you should like, you know, this might ruin this opportunity, or this might, you know, people might not sponsor your podcast or whatever it may be because you're talking about this. But
you know what, the first maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 people, maybe they won't sponsor it, but then the 5th person will come along and give you that opportunity.
Exactly.
So you don't want to change yourself to just fit into some mold, you know. If this makes you feel any better,
Grateful.
like the reason why I really fucked with you, because I was like, this is different, like this is entertaining and this is some shit I'm interested in. And for me to actually go to the Spotify app, type it in, look it up and listen to it and keep my attention for that long, like kudos to you, bro.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Hey, fucking,
you're a funny motherfucker.
No, but I and that's like, and that's a. Do you know how this came about? Like Jordan's Room came about?
No.
So, what actually happened? So when Justin got on, he was Scope. He was doing the companion, and you know, like I've always been the wild child in the sort of family that we have now, and you know, I'd always be like, like, fucking give me my own podcast, and so he'd be like, no.
Really?
And then, like just because I was always like just doing crazy shit, whatever, doing my own thing, and then we're all on the piss here one time watching the companion, and then one of the boys didn't show up, so Justin goes, "Oh, jump on the companion." And then
companion is when we sit there and watch the football live and live stream it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I was blind. I was like. So I feel like when you're drunk, you just talk your mind. So I was just saying the most outlandish shit. And then a few people were like, this guy's fucking a little bit weird. So then I started to come on a few different things, a few different podcasts. And then Ice and I were having a few beers on like a Thursday afternoon down in Bondi. And then I go, bro.
Of course you were. It wasn't even a Friday. It was a Thursday.
Friday. It was best friend Thursdays. Nah. Shout out to Ice. Nah. And then I go, bro, please just give me my own podcast. And he goes, what would your point of difference be? What are you going to talk about? And I was like, I'll talk to females, like about love, relationships. And then I could see it in his eyes straight away. It was like, shit, like that could work.
That could work.
And then in January, I think it was January, February, he messaged me and he goes, oh, meeting tomorrow. And then bang.
Went from there.
Yeah, it went from there. So.
Well, as Kanye said, you know, it's provocative.
Yeah, it is.
And it's entertaining, and that's what people love.
Yeah.
You know?
So, so grateful for the opportunity. But yeah, that's how it all came about. And I feel like I've been able to express myself, be myself on you know, with YKTR, and yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, it's been crazy.
It's awesome.
I wanted to quickly. So as you know, like we get a little bit of relationship advice.
Oh, I'm ready for
from
this.
People.
And just so everyone knows, I'm the worst person when it comes to relationship advice. So whatever I say today, just I wouldn't take it as gospel, brother.
I like to think of myself as I give good relationship advice, but
I can't imagine you ever giving like serious relationship advice though.
what the fuck?
It's just like his footy tipping. You don't expect it, and then you get the jam.
Okay,
It's the best.
Classic
It's the best.
Capricorn
Nah,
moves.
but yeah, I'm a Capricorn.
To me too.
Oh yeah, oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, are you, just a couple of just 3 Capricorns, just fucking locking horns. Nah. No, but I don't even put them into my own relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, all right.
Can relate.
Luke is going to read out a few of the questions.
So we got 3 questions. The first one. Hey, bro. Been with the missus for 3 years and she's expecting a proposal. I want to do it, but a bit light on cash to do anything spectacular. How big do I have to go with this? I want it to be special.
Oh, shit. You go.
Well, I mean, he's already expressed that he wants to do it because when you said the misso wants to tie the knot, I went, ooh, because, that can always, I feel like that's a lot of pressure, It's,
100.
I think especially if the female brings it up and the male hasn't brought it up first, that kind of can create a bit of like, well, that's risky.
Yeah, it's really risky because the guy can be like,
I wasn't really thinking of that. And then it can change the vibe or the energy if there's that expectation and pressure there. But then he said, I really want to do it, but I'm just low on cash and I want to make it special. So did he ask what he should do?
Yeah. Well, he goes, I want it. How big do I have to go?
Oh,
so
well,
sort of what should I do?
If you're trying
How
to
big?
get some more cash, because that could be solution 1, get more cash. Start a fucking GoFundMe, brother.
100%.
Or an OnlyFans.
Oh, that would be a gig away. I might start at OnlyFans. Nah.
That'll make it very special.
No, but I reckon this is the thing as well, like with partners. I'm the type of guy, if I love someone, it's all about love, and I think if you can appreciate if someone's in a certain position financially, you should appreciate whatever they've come, brought to the table, because if as a
the
partner,
fact that they're bringing it to the table and he wants to do it,
like if it was a bloody burgering, like if you can't afford something, you can't afford something, but
100%.
it's the thought behind it.
And I've heard of girls being like, I'm not going to marry him unless I get a certain type of diamond or a certain, and it's like,
I know. It's
like, I feel like that makes me want to cry. Like that's so sad and like upsetting,
and it puts a lot of pressure on guys as well, because you go, oh shit, and then you got the girl thinking, maybe I'm with the loser, but if you can't afford something, you can't afford something. So
if a girl's thinking that way, you don't want to marry her anyway.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. If you literally just buy something within your means and then take her on a holiday,
and she should understand that.
100%.
Yeah. Well, if she loves you, then she loves you for you, and
the ring's just the fucking extra.
And if she really wants the ring, then she can help you raise the funds.
Thank God. We're living in 2021 with Jade LaFlame.
I think that's reasonable.
It is 100%. 100%. But it depends though. This is like, you could think of it this way. How's their lifestyle like? If you're living this like lavish lifestyle, or you're trying to live in the fast lane, have you built those expectations for her to think that she deserves?
Well, see, then that's another.
Yeah, that's another.
We don't really know his situation, do we?
He seems like a good guy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said he doesn't have the funds, so let's hope he's not spending it all on
on
bags
fucking more
every
chili,
weekend.
pokies.
If he's got a pokey addiction and he's spending it on bags and alcohol, then maybe she has a
Get rid of him. What's
All right, next question. This bloke's from the Glizzy Gang, Simi. So shout out to the Glizzy Gang.
Shout out Glizzy Gang.
I'm pretty good with girls most of the time, but as I've gotten older, he's over 35 now, he sucks in the digital space. He's good at face-to-face, but he sucks at the messaging apps. Any tips?
The messaging apps. I love how he's worded that.
He's lost me.
That's when you really know you're over 35.
Yeah.
Look, I think that the face-to-face and the physical and mental connection is the most important thing. So these apps and that, I have still never been on a dating app,
Really?
Ever. I've never, ever gone on it. And not because I have anything against them, but because I just prefer that physical interaction.
Of course,
Plus, like, bro, don't worry about it. Like, guys get more attractive as they get older, I think.
Thank you. Grateful.
Yeah, that was directed
Thank you. I look like
at you.
shit. No, I'm just like,
No, but you know what I mean? Like for
Yeah.
men, I feel like when they age, they just become more attractive. And
100.
I feel like it's a bit different for women. Like maybe it's harder for women. It's kind of the opposite. Like we get older and maybe a lot of people would.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I'm
lose
saying?
that.
It's harder.
You lose that. You lose that thing. It's harder. I found like because I've jumped on. I'm only on Hinge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Hinge, but I went on a date with a girl ages ago, and a few weeks ago. But she goes, "Oh, so weird. Like off your Hinge profile, I would think that you're like a fuckboy. Like when I look at your photos, she's like, you scream fuckboy.
Yeah.
And fair enough, whatever. But
Are you a fuckboy, Jordan?
No, not really. I mean,
Not really.
What the hell was that? Look, he's like,
I never said anything.
no, I'm not.
What do you think a fuckboy is?
I reckon a fuckboy is. Oh, there's a few things. A guy that potentially sleeps around, talks to different females at the same time, juggles.
So like a player.
Yeah, like a player.
Yeah, okay.
Could be a fuckboy as well as like how you carry yourself. Like, think your shit doesn't stink.
It's tough for you because you zone in on one and are all in on one, so it's hard to sort of give you that fuckboy card. You know.
Thank you.
Respectfully.
So I wonder
well,
why.
I'm a
Did you
relationship guy.
ask her like what made her think that you could be a fuckboy?
She said it's just your vibe. She's like, she goes like, we went to Mateo. Shout out Mateo, my favorite restaurant.
I was there for my birthday earlier this year.
Good,
7 Jan.
nice.
Capricorn season. Yeah, of course, beautiful. They kept sending me rounds of tequila shots. So
Yeah, grateful.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like that there. They're like that there. They look after people there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, she's just like, oh, it's the vibe you let off, and she's like, oh, you're saying hello to all these girls and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're not talking to girls, how are you supposed to meet one?
So circling back to the question, what tips would you have for him in the DMs?
In the DMs,
You started with the dog emoji. That's sort of filtered out now. So what have you got now?
Nah, man, that dog. So
Well, you need to, before you hit the DMs, you got to have some attractive photos on your profile. So I don't want to see no like, I don't know, some fucking weird shit. Like, and don't just be yourself. Don't try too hard.
just do 100%.
Yeah.
I would say if you're looking to go into the DMs, as you said, the photos. If you focus on yourself.
Yes.
And
key.
you focus on yourself, you're ticking your life boxes, and it's then portrayed on like social media. That attracts women in itself. You're like, oh, this guy's doing this guy's doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
And then when you just like, like few old photos, it doesn't start in the DMs. It starts with like, depending on how many followers they have, you just, chuck out a few likes, maybe comment a few little naughty things here and there.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, I'll chuck on a
What type of comments?
Oh, like I'd be like, do you have a boyfriend? Some shit like that. Nah.
Very straight to the
what
point.
happened to you guys?
It's very direct.
Or congrats. And they're like, congrats on what?
Really?
I just say that.
I got a few congrats the other day, so now I'm wondering. I'm like, were they
really?
genuine congrats or?
Nah, yeah, those are horny congrats for sure.
Well, I posted my first story of me and my boyfriend. Like,
Was that the other day?
Yeah, and I had
After my
like
one?
200 sends. Like of that
really?
one, like
the shares?
3 shares. Sorry, yeah. God, I'm old.
Oh, is that when you posted our thing and then you posted I seen that. I was like, what the fuck?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was like, you're like, oh, I see what, and I'm like, whoa. No, but yeah.
Look, not that I couldn't care if anyone thought I was single or not. I'm not trying to say to everyone, sorry, I'm fucking taken. Don't fucking look at me or talk to me. I'm not like that at all. Because like you, I'm very social. Yeah. I have a lot of guy friends. Like, I have little brothers and friends with all their friends. So, I'm constantly around like male energy and whatever. Yeah. But it was just like more, it's hard for me to be like confident in that space. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. If the best advice I could say would be, send the dog emoji sounds lame, but it's such a point of difference because imagine if you're an attractive female, so many guys are hitting you up like, hey, what's up, shorty?
I think
Maybe
if someone
not shorty,
sent me a dog emoji, I'd leave them unseen.
No, but this is the thing, like,
I think you're trying to inspire the creativity of the dog emoji.
It's like,
okay.
I've taken a few big fish down, right? So the history speaks for itself. But
Okay.
the dog emoji, it sounds like fucked, but it's worked because it's like,
not
oh,
fucked.
you loser. And then you're backed up by like,
oh, he's a dog.
yeah, he's such a dork, but look at him fucking doing podcasts about sex.
Yeah, it's about how you follow up the dog emojis.
Exactly, yeah. So
Shoot your shot, brother.
just be creative with it. Like, be creative with it.
Be creative and
Don't be
shoot
like,
your
hey,
shot.
how are you?
All right, speaking of being creative, fashion tips for the ladies, bro. You've always got mad fashion. It'd be good to have a female perspective. So, Jade, chip in. What are some good core wardrobe rotations? What's hot right now on the single scene? This guy's new to this shit.
You know what I always love? When guys do the shorts with the socks vibe.
Guilty. This is just my go-to.
Girls like boys who wear socks. If you're not wearing socks, like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like a staple thing. That's like just rule number 1.
It depends though. Like, do you go? I always go white socks, white shoes for sure.
Yeah, because it's
But-
crispy and it's clean.
So is he asking for like the brands?
Yeah, just fashion tips. So
Fashion
what sort of
tips.
fits are you vibing with at the moment? You got a bit of vintage kit on at the moment?
Yeah, I'm obviously always rocking vintage kit.
Yeah.
I love
Hoodies?
I love vintage shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like.
Bet you fit on from the other day, the button up.
Oh yeah, that was just a little little button up that I had.
Yeah, okay.
But I always go like I'm a massive tracky guy. I love
Yeah.
my track pants, my Air Force Ones, hoodie. It's winter as well, so you
Yeah.
can play around with it.
That cozy vibe
Cozy.
is always really nice. Like, as a girl and you
Too
see a guy
cozy.
that looks cozy and you're like, I
Fuck,
just
I
want
could
to hug
snuggle
that.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
What about when you're out and you have to sort of dress it up a little bit? You're at Mateo, you're somewhere of those sorts of venues.
I always go black, right? Black jeans, black tee, with
Yes.
like a nice denim finish.
You're on the money with that one.
Yeah, nice
Yeah.
denim finish, a little bit of like,
And don't go too dressy, guys. Like,
Nah.
don't just automatically think that you have to wear a dress shirt and some like some pointy leather shoes. I don't even know what they're called, but just don't do
Yeah.
that.
always go vibey like.
Go vibey, yeah. Be a bit more chill.
The denim finish for me, it's always black jeans, black tee, denim top.
I think Ice and I were talking about it the other day on the podcast. A lot of venues are like relaxing their dress code now. Like before, you couldn't even go out wearing a hoodie. You
the
couldn't go
culture that's
out
been
wearing loose
created.
pants. You'd have to have. I remember I got kicked out of a pub because I had my Yeezys on once. I was
Yeah.
like, bro, like,
What the
Like,
They're
do
like,
you know
you
how
got running
expensive
shoes
my
on. I'm like,
sneakers are, brother?
they're not running shoes, man.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
running in these.
My
like
sneakers
that.
are more expensive than your entire
that.
wardrobe.
But these days, it's not like that. So,
No, I can get into a place with fucking shorts on now. So
Yeah. Well, you got good calves, so
yeah,
it's calm.
thank you very much.
that's the 3 questions, Simi. on the
So
podcast.
Des, I wanted to ask my own questions, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I was speaking about this the other day with other Jade Spooner.
Shout out Jade Spooner.
Shout out Jade. She loves you too, by the way.
I love her. I was about to say, I love her so much.
Yeah, she's the best.
She's so inspiring, man.
100%. 100%. And that's why I love getting her on here too, because she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But we were talking about how to keep like the romance alive, how to keep that spark within the relationship. I went straight to swinging.
Okay.
But she,
I'll go straight to toxic. No.
Capricorn energy, man. That's Capricorn energy.
Oh, where did you go yesterday? Oh, okay. Interesting.
I love that shit. That shit turns me on, man. I love that shit. That's what I've always said from day dot. If it's not toxic, I don't want it.
Well, if it's too easy, then I feel like guys just kind of like
They go
zone out.
walkabouts,
They
yeah.
go walk up. Yeah,
Yeah.
they feel like it's plateauing, so you have
Yeah.
to shake it up a little bit sometimes.
100%. Sometimes girls can go like a bit too far.
Oh,
but
a bit too toxic?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
too toxic for you?
too toxic for me would be
Broken windows.
would be
key cards.
like using my, so like, you know how they got the face scanner? I was asleep one time and one of my exes like put the phone over my fucking face, and I woke up to like the fucking
Girl.
the lamp on, and she had the phone over my face, and I was like, bro, what are you doing?
I'm dead.
And then
I'm dead.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell are you doing? She's like, oh, what are you scared of? Are you like, and I'm like, man,
You're literally stealing my
Ask for-
identity right now.
Ask
my
for my
literal
password.
identity.
That's the thing as well, right? With passwords, I'm big on obviously trust, but the world we live in now, I think that there's so many, like the grass is greener on the other side. I'm happy to give my password to my partner.
Oh,
because I'm like,
that's
fuck.
nice.
It takes that thought away, you know. I'm like, sweet. If you want to ever go on my phone, go on my phone. Like,
I've never been in that situation where we've had to.
Every girl wants to go on my phone. Like, oh, who's that? Who's this? Oh, what's it? So? And I'm like, oh, it's Jade Flay.
And they're immediately like, yeah, she's a bitch.
But honestly, I like that, that you got to keep it a little bit toxic.
Well, just like, you know, ladies have to remind their mans like why they're with them in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's like, if your man's is getting too fucking comfortable,
shake that shit up.
Like, that's not going to happen. Like, it's not all one-sided. I'm not going to cook you food, clean for you, do this, take you out, all that shit. And you just think you can go walkabouts? Like,
what the fuck?
Excuse me? Do you know who you're with?
Who you know you're with?
Like,
oh, that's the best.
You know,
that's the best. I agree with you.
Yeah.
If a girl's not doing that shit with me, like not too full on, but if a female's not keeping me on my toes, then I'm just.
And it works both ways as well.
Oh, 100.
Like,
because girls can run wild, man.
And girls can run wild.
Run wild, man. I swear to God. Like sometimes I'm like, are you sweet? Like you're pushing the boundaries here.
I know. I do see some questionable fucking behaviour in Sydney sometimes.
Oh my God, Sydney. That's a different beast, eh?
Yeah,
Sydney's a different place, man.
Yeah.
How many people knows everyone knows everyone?
Yeah.
Everyone knows oh, I met this girl. Oh.
I feel lucky I'm still a bit of an outsider, even though I've recently moved to the eastern suburbs. I haven't fully immersed myself in like. Well,
you're hanging around the wrong crew. You're in the deepest crew. Flatmate Fridays are gonna meet.
No, it's okay
everyone.
though. It's okay, you know. But I think, sometimes it scares me a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Well, this brings me to my next one. What does a successful relationship look like to you?
Oh. Well,
toxic.
Well, you know, I always see like older couples, like whether, you know, they're in their like 70s or whatever, and they're assisting each other walking down the street because one of them's like hunched over and has a fucking walking cane.
Yeah.
Like, so I always think they must have been through some shit and they always had each other's backs, you know? 100. Just like how I piggybacked you up the...
100%. You had my back then. Thank you, sir. There was like 5 of the boys there too with me just... And I'm weighing like 115 at the moment too, so that's a lot of leg power.
But I think it's about having the other person's back, and that's how you build trust, because you know that person has you. It can't be a one-way street. You have to, you know, that's one thing. Once you know the spark dies out eventually when you're on menopause in your fucking 50s or whatever, like that's the stuff that's the
stuff that holds you there.
That holds you there.
Do you think with the social media and do you believe that that's dying?
Absolutely. It's affecting it a lot because we're moving at such a faster pace, and we're finding Band-Aid solutions when I try not to do it. I don't think I do it, but I see a lot of people, you know, they come out of a relationship, whether it's short or long, and they find that Band-Aid fix, you can jump on Insta,
straight away.
Oh, I'm going to hang out with someone else now. I feel so much better without actually dealing with their traumas and dealing with what's happened.
Then it like carries on to the next one. Yeah, I believe when I look at social media, as soon as you and your girlfriend start arguing or you break up, how easy is it to just jump on and you've got that like
instant gratification.
You've got that one guy that's always hitting you up and you're like, no, you know what? I'm going to go on a date with him, or I'm going to go on a date with this chick. She's always liking all my photos and like replying to my stories. And there is a
sense of like, that's not a bad thing. You
no,
know?
It's not. It's not.
It's not a bad thing. But
I believe that people have like, are getting it mixed up between, you know, working through those hard times to then going, oh, I deserve better than this. Of course people deserve to get treated like respectfully.
Yeah.
But I believe that people give up way too soon than what, you know, what's out there. So
yeah.
The one's out there somewhere.
The one is out there somewhere for you, Jordan.
Where
She's
are you,
probably
man?
already watching this and is like,
what a fuckboy.
Sylvie is so beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably.
Don't
not.
lose hope. Don't lose hope.
Honestly, and it's hard for me too because just all the boys are dropping like flies. You know, everyone's falling in love. One of my little brothers, the Scope. He's currently found love too, and it's he was actually not a hater, but he was just like, no way. I don't like
skeptical.
Do this for the rest of my life. Shit like
yeah.
Next minute.
What do you think makes a successful relationship?
Sex.
Interesting.
If you're not fucking, then no.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
I think
that's a given though.
Honestly, I think it's just a successful relationship is doing things that your partner wants you to do, but it's reciprocated. Is that the right word?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
If
can't be all one-sided.
If your partner wants you to do this, then, and it's not outlandish, but if your partner wants you to do something, I believe you should just respect that off the bat. Like, yeah, sweet, I want to make you happy. Like,
yeah,
why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like there have been double standards? And
100.
And what are those situations like?
It would be
curious to know.
It would be like, oh, why are you talking to this girl? Sweet, I'll stop talking to her. And then, wait, but you're still mates with your ex. And then, oh, but him and I have been mates for years and da-da-da-da-da. But then you know what I mean? So, and then there was a case, not recently, this was ages ago, but a case where, you know, an ex was friends with an ex and he was trying to get back with her. But then I was like, yeah, don't you see where I'm coming from? So I feel like...
And did she see where you were coming from?
No, never.
Well,
until
then that's where the...
Until I left and she came home and I was gone. See ya.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But fair enough, because you have to have that respect for yourself. And I think if your partner can't see where you're coming from or you can't meet halfway, then it's not going to work.
100%. You have to meet halfway.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're on the verge of breaking up, because we've had a few questions come in over time, if you're on the verge of breaking up, how do you fix that?
Are we really trying to fix it though?
I mean, maybe.
I'm the type of person, like, I will try, you know, 1,000 times before I give up. But once it's like, it's done and the other person's really, really betrayed my trust, I probably stay around for a little bit too long.
Okay. But
you really have to, like, I have to be at breaking point for me to really then just give up. But what was the question?
Fucking, I don't know. I was just vibing to you. Just how would you fix the relationship? Yeah. Or you wouldn't. You just.
It depends.
It just goes back to the putting in the fucking.
Yeah, putting in the effort. I think I've never been in a relationship where like our sex life has died out and it's like really? that because I feel like if you don't have that then. And that attraction and intimacy isn't there, then it's dead, right?
Just a bunch of nerds
dead
hooking
haps.
up.
Yeah. Well, not even hooking up, like
just two nerds.
Yeah, and so you need that intimacy, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I haven't actually tried. Maybe I haven't tried hard enough. No.
You're just like, fuck, see you later.
No, I personally think that I'm a really good catch and I'm a good fucking girlfriend and I go out of my way.
I think you would be a great catch.
Thank
for sure.
you.
For sure. Just the vibe, the energy you let off for sure. I don't know about, I wouldn't let you hang around with the boys at Flatmate Fridays. Nah.
Well, I've been there and nothing terrible has happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yet. Nah. All right, I've got this. I got to pick up my phone for a second. Okay, we can either do this. Oh, actually, I've got one question. Who's your top 3 artists right now?
Top 3 artists.
And it could be. Now. They don't need to be. Because when I've watched some of your stuff, you guys always find these like little gems. These like artists
yeah, okay. Well, I have a lot of favorite artists, but I guess
3 right now that.
Baby Keem.
Oh, haven't heard.
So he's who's his cousins to. Shit, I can't remember who his cousin is. It's like Kendrick Lamar or someone.
Oh, really?
But he just did a track with Travis Scott, and it's fucking fire. It's called Do Rag Activity. It's fire. Go look it up.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's fire. Don Toliver.
Yeah.
As well.
No.
Sort of. Nah. Don't know.
See, this
Don
is
Toliver.
me. I'm just mainstream artists.
No, but they're
listening
like
to Don Toliver at Magic Round.
Oh, really?
So Don's like Travis understudy.
Names.
Yeah. No, it's all good. There are so many artists out there, bro. Like, it's calm.
Fuck you looking at it like that. And last one?
Shit. Probably Doja Cat.
Oh, really?
She's cool.
She's naughty, man. She's so outspoken. She just does her own shit.
Yeah, and I've watched her on the come up like since her bedroom producer days. Like she's such a fucking nerd.
Oh,
And
so
I
she
love that.
produces her own stuff.
She produces, writes, sings, raps. I mean,
Dances.
she's beautiful. She dances. She's got like crazy weird style. She
Yeah,
can do
she's
makeup,
so
beauty, all
sexy.
that shit. She's so sexy.
Respectfully.
Yeah, she's super sexy. I love her.
All right. Well, I've got these
I'd date
artists.
her for sure. Yeah.
You'd date her?
If Doja Cat asked me on a date, I'd be down.
Ooh. It's
Wouldn't you?
making me nervous. Nah. Yeah, of course I would.
Yeah, 100.
All right. So we can do this. We can do overrated, underrated, or we can do one word that comes to mind when these artists come to.
Overrated, underrated. What's that? I'm intrigued.
Like if I say the artist's name, you just say overrated, underrated.
Okay. Let's
You know
see.
what I mean?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Kodak Black.
Underrated, bro.
Grateful.
He's
grateful.
a fucking goat.
He is. He's so good. What's that one? V for May.
Yeah, I don't know the lyrics. So God,
Yeah, I don't know who knows.
goes
the-
off, fucking bangs.
6ix9ine.
Well, everyone hates 6ix9ine,
Yeah.
so they're probably bang on with that. Like he's not underrated or overrated. He's just
Just
6ix9ine.
6ix9ine, yeah. Kid Leroy. He is where he's meant to be.
He's where he's meant to be. Yes.
J. Cole.
I always say this on the Spotify show. I think he's a little bit overrated, only because he's not really my style.
Okay.
That's all.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I agree
But I
with you.
think for what he does, he's fucking dope. And
Yeah.
you know, now he's playing basketball and he's like super inspiring and like
Yeah, it's what he does off the mic that I reckon.
Yeah.
I musically I agree with you. Central C.
underrated, but I hope he keeps going on the upward trajectory
Yeah.
that he's been on because he's fucking crazy.
AJ Tracy.
Underrated as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree
He's
with you.
another one that's like kind of like Doja Cat. You know, he can do it all.
Yeah.
And I think that gets overlooked because maybe the general population wouldn't appreciate
They just believe that
his
they're
level
just.
of yeah.
So he does what he produces.
He can do everything, you know, and he's come up from the underground because like his mum and dad were in music, so his mum was a
Oh,
DJ.
true.
Yeah.
So he's been around it for a minute.
Yeah, so he's been on like the scene in the UK, like the club scene for a long, long time.
Thiago Silva is my.
Fucking good track.
No. Gunner.
Underrated.
Moneybag Yo.
I haven't quite made my mind up about Moneybag
No.
yet.
He's sort of in the like.
He's pretty fucking sick. Like he's on the new DMX album that's about to drop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to like exclusively listen to the album.
Was it good?
And there's a song called Money, Money, Money with Moneybag Yo DMX and it pops, yeah. So
That's
I think he's on the
exciting.
come up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
His music. I always vibe to his music.
Yeah, cool.
Jay Balvin.
Who?
Jay Balvin.
Am I saying his name right?
He's
Who's
like
that?
a huge artist under what's his nationality? Is he Spanish?
He's from Medellin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't know.
You'd know his song straight away. He sings with like Bad Bunny and stuff.
Oh, true. I love Bad Bunny, but
I'll play a song after this.
okay, dope.
I got you.
Thank
Got mad
you.
fun. He's got a
Wait,
Jordan
one
collab.
more,
He's
I'm
got a-
learning something.
Georgia Smith.
Underrated.
She's my girl, man.
She's so beautiful. I love her.
Honestly, if I
I'd date Georgia too.
grateful. I would love to see you guys flourish like that too. I'd love to see you guys because you guys would be happy, man. I could see it.
She's beautiful and her voice is incredible. Her delivery. Yeah, I'm really into that husky kind of voice. I feel like that there
Yeah, I
aren't
know
too many
you-
female artists.
No,
That,
you mean.
is
that's
that your
funny.
husky singing voice?
I've got a bit of a husk. Oh well, that brings me to my end of the list. Thank you so much for coming on. I've honestly, it's gone better than I expected. But
Really? I feel like
Grateful
I'm a
for-
bit serious for you.
no, that's
you
what
sure?
I was saying to Lukey. Remember, I was saying before you came in, I was like, because sometimes it can, like, I want to have a certain, like, I want people to understand that it's not just like, I'm not like, oh,
Yeah,
sex
yeah,
this
yeah,
and
okay.
having a joke around. So I was like, who would I want to come on and have like a really cool chat with? And
Okay, cool.
so it's great.
As long as
for
you
your
still had a
time.
good time. Cause
No, I had the best time. But
Yeah.
the funny thing was just you changing your times all the time. I was like, you're like,
Yeah,
can we
my
do
bad.
5? Can we do 9? And I'm like, fuck
I'm a
you,
busy
sweet.
girl.
Nah, grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Bye, guys.
Bye.